I was like trying to make a cup so that I could like drink out of the waterfalls more easily, like here. Because like I can like get in like a push-up position there and surface drink out of the top of that waterfall. But I was like feeling creative, so I was like, maybe I can make a cup. I'm positive that like a lot of these plants will be safe to drink out of. And then I was thinking like, I don't want to take, you can see those big elephant leaves over there. I didn't want to take them. They looked like it'd be easy to fashion them into a cup, but there's not many of them and it would damage the plant quite a bit. So I was looking around and I found some plants that had like an abundant amount of leaves and new growth and things like this. And I was like, oh, this plant will be okay if I just take like one leaf and try to make a cup out of it. And I was like pulling on each of the leaves and like they didn't want to release. Like there was no leaves that wanted to come off, and it would be like a violence, like break the plant to get a leaf. So I was like, oh, maybe this isn't the right thing to do. And then I was like looking at the new growth on the plant, and the shoot, like one of the new growth shoots, like popped up in my hand, and I was like, oh, okay, so I can use this. Like this is like the plant has almost given this to me, you know. So I walked over here to this waterfall, and I'm looking at it, and I'm going like, it's like it was like a new shoot, so it was like rolled up, and I couldn't unroll it. It just kept rolling up. And I'm thinking, what am I supposed to do with this? Like, I can't manipulate this leaf into a cup. Like, it's just not going to happen. Like, no matter how many times I unroll it, it just wants to go back to that same shape. And then I was like, kind of looking at it, and I was like, it looks like a straw. And it was like wrapped so tightly, like naturally. And I was like, So I come down to the water where I was going to surface drink from anyway. It's quite long. Like it's like longer than your standard 30 centimeter ruler that you use in the classroom. It was probably like close to double that. So I sat down beside the waterfall and I gave it a try, and I was like surface drinking out of it through my plant straw that like nature gave to me. And it tasted kind of extra delicious because it had like the greenery, like the flavor of the plant on my lips. So it was like almost like cucumber water. And I was like, And it was just like this moment where I was like, sometimes the universe or like Mother Nature has better ideas than you. Like I had in my mind, like, I'll make a cup and it'll be easy. But when I actually didn't just try to force my way to that outcome, which is the recurring theme of the recent journals, a better thing presented itself, almost validating like what I've been saying recently. Like, don't try to force your way to anything. Don't think that you've got to manipulate your way to the outcome that you're looking for. Like maybe there's a better way, and maybe it's right in front of you if you can just slow yourself down enough to take in what's available. And in saying that, like even coming here, I went to another spot which I really like, and there was a dead eel. And I was like fully trying to find a really cool place to film, and I was feeling more and more uncomfortable. And I was like, just like not in the mood for filming. Like, what's wrong with me? Why can't I film? And then I stopped and I just sat, and I started to realize like I feel kind of nauseous. And then I started to like tune into my actual senses a little bit more, and my sense of smell. And I was like, it smells like death. I can sense death. And sure enough, I was like, no, that's death. I'm like looking around, like there's a kind of cave behind me. I'm like, oh, that's kind of, I don't know about this. Like maybe this is definitely not the spot. Like I was like, okay, I know why I didn't want to be here, but I wasn't allowing myself to slow down enough to like realize why. So I'm like looking everywhere, like, and then I look right beneath me, and there's this dead eel that's been dead for a while. Massive eel. It's like washed out of the river or something. I don't know how it actually died. It's covered in flies, fly blown, and just smells like absolute death. And as soon as I tuned into my sense of smell a little bit more, I was like, that is unbearable. But I'd been there for like 10 minutes, like trying to get comfortable and trying to get into the zone to film, but I hadn't bothered to like actually tune into my surroundings in the first place and realize why I was so uncomfortable. And I was just like, I've got to stop doing this. I've got to stop like forcing myself to do stuff. Like, there's a reason why I have resistance. There's a reason why I feel uncomfortable. So like, that's what happened before I came here. So that's kind of what primed me to be a bit more gentle with myself and a bit more patient. So like, I didn't just like go and like rip a plant off the tree and make a cup and drink out of it and give myself a pat on the back for manipulating my reality into what I wanted. I actually co-created with my environment to get the result. And I didn't even need to do that. Like, after I did that, I was like, that's kind of cool. But then I just went back to surface drinking normally again. Like, I didn't even need to take from nature. I had everything that I needed already. So that's a fun little nature journal, because I know you guys like that stuff. A lot of you like having a relationship with nature, and I understand why. We're starved of it. Like, nobody talks about it. I feel like a crazy person for talking about having a relationship with a tree in a video. Like, I think I even deleted a video where I was talking about my relationship with this tree, where like I was having full on I can't even reproduce it in this video because it's too crazy. But like, we're so starved of those kinds of conversations about being truly connected with nature, and like there's so much craving for like to have an experience just like that, like just nature handing you a straw and you drinking from the stream. Like, it's like such a romanticized idea, but it used to be normal. Like, how long has it been since you've just walked for hours through a rainforest for no reason? Like, just like get a drink, go for a swim, go for a walk. There's no purpose. Like, everything has to have a purpose all the time, and we're all in that mode. Or I find myself in that mode. I don't want to project onto everybody again, where I'm just like, just trying to get that result. But it's arbitrary. Arbitrary means it doesn't matter. Like, we've assigned value to it, but the value isn't real. It's like, like, why do I need everything to have a result? Like, why can't I just relax? And connecting with that again in myself is so important, because I'm so susceptible to this go, go, go mentality where everything has to be for something. Like, my life has to be for something. It has to have meaning. I have to have a purpose. And like, we do need that as well, but it needs to be balanced. Like, you can't just be pedal to the metal ambition and not take time to just be here and remember how little it all really matters. And remember that a lot of the stuff is arbitrary. The goals and the things that you're striving for, they're meaningful to you, and they do have value, and in a sense they're not arbitrary. They're not that there is something to it. But like, if you zoom out, if you know what I mean by that, if you zoom out of the present moment and you look at like all of your lifetime and all of human history, the further you zoom out, the more you realize like you don't need to worry so much. Like, it's okay to just have a day where nothing happens. And it's impossible to have a day where nothing happens. This has been the most eventful day of my fortnight. And I say fortnight because I've got a fortnightly program running, because that's my pay cycle for the main organization that I work with now. But yeah, it's like, this has been so eventful. I've had so many insights and experiences and feelings and emotions and it's felt like novel. It's been like a novelty to have a day like this, which I really want to find that balance where it's normal to relax. It's normal to have a day of freedom. Like, And I'm also trying to incorporate it into my work as well, and encourage the people that I'm working with to like come to a place like this. And this is where we will, you know, work towards our goals, because a lot of the things that we need to do to work towards our goals is first think about it, and not think about it in a hot sweaty room in the middle of summer where, like, you know, we're uncomfortable, like I was with the eel. You know, I'm feeling uncomfortable and I don't know why, and I'm not able to perform, like I'm not able to show up because I feel uncomfortable. It's the same if you're sitting in your hot, sweaty, dark house trying to figure out what to do with your life. Like, just go outside, go for a swim. Going for a swim transforms me into a different person. I go from being like just so closed and clenched to so open and free and just like flowing instantly. As soon as I submerge myself, I just have to jump off a cliff into the ocean, or off the cliff like this into the water below, and that you just plunge into aliveness. You're alive. Like, oh, that's right. Like, things can change dramatically. Like, your body feels that, and then your mind follows, and it feels really good. And I want to encourage that. I want to encourage myself because, like, it's so easy. Like, I make a conscious effort to make sure that I don't stray too far from nature and stray too far from balance and love and happiness and joy. Like, it's an effort. Why is it an effort? Maybe not for much longer. Maybe I can completely change the way that I'm programmed, so that, like, it's just absolutely integrated into my work, my play, my relationships, and everything. And this is just, it is normal. That's the goal. I want it to be normal to feel like this. And I can do it. I believe I can do it. Because I bring people out here, you know? And the main objection is like, well, you can't just do this all the time. And I'm like, well, you kind of just shut that possibility off forever, because, like, there's got to be dozens of ways. You could become a park ranger. I've always thought about that. And you're just a custodian of the land, and you just make sure that it's looked after, and that's your income. You've got income, and you get to spend time in beautiful places and protect them as well. So, you know, that's just one of infinite ways. But if you say, I can't do it, that's the end of the story. If you say, how can I do it? That's the beginning of the story. And the story might take 10 years to unfold to get to a point like myself where I can actually incorporate the experiences that I want to have into my employment and my work, you know, but it's worth it. It's worth asking, how can I do it, instead of just saying, I can't. If you say, I can't, it's all over. I don't know what, there's no core insight to this video. It's just like, I told a little story, and then I had a little bit of a think about all of this stuff. If you had any insights yourself, please share them in the comments down below. Click the like button for me. Subscribe if you haven't already, and go and check out kailives.com if you feel inclined. Thanks for watching.